All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, and today we are talking about rehydrate reporting. This is under policies, and then you will see it here under playbooks. And just as a reminder, the specific feature is for things like the CrowdStrike incident that caused computers to have that blue screen of death recirculate over and over again, or any software update that causes that to happen, or God forbid you have a ransomware attack. Since we are unique in being in the firmware of devices, this allows us to run these playbooks before the OS loads and either restore a golden image, or in the case of that blue screen of death cycling over and over, remove that file surgically and then get back to business faster. So you would configure the playbooks here. One of the first places I wanted to go over, because we're talking about the errors and how to make it work better, is to look here. So if you see the caution triangle, it'll say they're unable to run playbooks. You can click here to learn about playbook requirements, but you can also click the 4 devices or however many there are. Come here and you can see here, you can hover over it or expand this window. You can see for this device, it last connected a year ago, so obviously this isn't something current in our environment. We don't have that many devices in here, but so the secure boot is not enabled. TPM 2.0 is not enabled, and it doesn't have persistence 2.0, which is our agent. You can see some of the different, this has no Microsoft third party, the version not met, CPU architecture not met. So again, from the previous page, you can click X here to go back to that previous page and click on the requirements from there if you're not sure what it is, or you can hit the question mark here, and that will also take you to the help and support page. It shows you here, there's some ways to troubleshoot those ineligible devices. So if a lower version shows, you want to make sure the automatic agent updates are applied. So that's going to be under setting, agent management, and then you'll just want to click this slider to allow absolute to manage agent updates. Obviously, if the operating system is 8.1 or lower, upgrade it if the system supports it. If an ARM-based architecture is reported, it's just not going to be eligible. Same with the firmware persistence version. And then you can come to the custom data and pick up the shrinkable disk space, and that will let you know. So there is a reach script. Basically, what you need to do, if that was the error on one of these, you can come up here, select the devices, run the script. So we have the absolute partition creation preparation. The other thing that we've recently come up with is this Rehydrate onboarding guide. So you can see that in the help as well. This is super extensive, and you can come through here and it runs all the way through like just about every possible scenario so that you can make the best out of running those playbooks. You can also come see if it's failed by looking in the history. You can look at the actions here, and you can say if it actually tried to run the playbook. You can change this to however many days. So you can see where if you try to run a playbook, you can see if it's completed or failed, and it will let you know the reasons as well. So you can actually edit the columns here. And under actions, you can see the status details and drag that over here. And it will give you a little more information about why this failed. So in this case, there's still a previous playbook request pending. On this one, it was not provisioned. So you'll see some different errors there that'll help you determine why it's not working. In addition, under the policies, we have a couple of different things available as well. So you can now set what we call absolute failsafe. So this will automatically start a playbook after X amounts of failed boots. So in the case where that blue screen of death is going over and over, you can say after 3, 4, or 5 consecutive restart failures, I want to run the last playbook. You can also set the system restarts. You can say, I want this to restart automatically after update, or I want it to be in a time window from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. You can say, I want to allow the user to delay the restart, or you can say no. or you can disable automatic restarts altogether and depend on your end user to reboot the device. We don't recommend that, but it is available should you need that. So you can set this allow user to delay restart once, and it will delay it for 8 hours, or you can say we'll allow them to do it 3 times for 2 hours each. So the history will also track if the authentication key is missing, if the bootloader is not installed, or the TPM is not activated, just like in that other section. So that's just the best way to troubleshoot your Rehydrate Playbook devices and actions. Any questions? Okay, great. You guys have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.